Hello, we are SWC BruiNecessities. One of the reasons why BruiNecessities was founded was to combat menstrual inequity on the UCLA campus, and we are still working towards that today. We ask students about their personal experiences with menstruation in order to shed light on a topic that is not often discussed publicly.
I buy menstrual hygiene products once every 2 months, so for 2 cycles, and I spend about $25 every 2 months.
I buy menstrual hygiene products about every other month, which consists of a box of pads and a box of tampons, totaling about $20, give or take, each time.
I would say my mom definitely, she just walked me through like everything that she knew, and also the internet, just when my mom like wasn't available or I just wanted a quicker answer.
My mother was the one to teach me about menstruation and how to use menstrual hygiene products. When she was young and had her first period, nobody had told her before how to use anything, so she absolutely freaked out. She was at school, so her teacher gave her a pad, but didn't explain further. She got home and she told her mom. Her mom freaked out. Her mom told her that she couldn't sit next to a boy anymore, else she would get pregnant. And my mom was so scared that she actually didn't sit next to a boy for an entire year. But she grew up, she educated herself, and she made sure that I knew what was going on and how to use my products, um, so I wouldn't have to experience that scare like she did.
Yes, especially because it's a taboo topic in my Indian community.
Because I started my menstrual cycle at a young age, a lot of my friends hadn't started theirs yet. And that led me to feel uncomfortable talking about my experience because I felt like I was different than them.
The lack of accessibility to menstrual products has affected my comfort and sometimes my ability to focus in class. Usually, when I know I'm about to have my period soon, I carry a few pads with me in my backpack, but sometimes my period likes to surprise me early. When I don't have access to menstrual products, I'm forced to use toilet paper that I fold neatly. I used to spend hours on campus, so I had to switch out the toilet paper frequently, and the whole feeling was just uncomfortable. I would sit in long lectures, and all I could think about was the possibility of me leaking. In a perfect world, it would be great to have menstrual products available at hand in every restroom to avoid discomfort in the future.
It helps when colleges provide complimentary menstrual distribution stations and bathrooms. For those living in the dorms, it might be helpful to provide menstrual products to the RAs of each floor instead of all putting them in the lobby desk. For me, accessibility is one way to address menstrual inequality on college campuses.
I think college campuses should provide free menstrual products in restrooms in order to provide easier accessibility.
These responses illuminate some of the difficulties that are faced by people who menstruate. However, universities are able to alleviate some of those difficulties with their involvement. We will now turn it over to our menstrual hygiene directors for more information about how Brew Necessities is addressing menstrual inequity on the UCLA campus.
Hi, my name is Jasmine, and I, along with Shimon and Charlotte, we are the menstrual hygiene directors under the UCLA Basic Needs Committee, BruiNecessities. To give you a better idea of what we do, some of our values initiatives include providing basic needs such as pads and tampons for free on campus. We also work to destigmatize the talk of menstrual hygiene and to be more inclusive in the language that we use. Sherman and Charlotte will go a little more into these last 2 points, but I want to talk to you a little more about basic needs. So due to COVID, many of our normal distribution locations on campus have been put on hold because we don't want to create a hotspot. But I do want to share some cool and upcoming projects that we have coming. The first thing we have is that the Menstrual Hygiene Committee is actually part of a larger UC period coalition that is working to provide menstrual hygiene and basic need products to students who may not have access to these products because they're not near campus. So this is in working progress at the moment, but you can follow us on Instagram to be more up to date with this. We have also been working for a long time to have dispensaries put around on campus for pads and tampons. These are gonna hopefully be implemented by the end of the school year. And lastly, we're also trying to increase the access to menstrual hygiene products on the Hill by placing the distribution locations, either in the lounge areas or with the RAs. So these are some of our up and coming projects. Again, you can follow us at BruiNecessities on Instagram to be up to date with these initiatives. Next, Charlotte is going to talk to us about destigmatizing menstrual hygiene.
Yeah, so the second initiative in BruiNecessities Menstrual Hygiene Committee is destigmatization. And so in order for us to be able to do that, we have to start being comfortable with having conversations. And so let's talk about menstrual hygiene. And it's important that we do this because menstruation affects such a big part of our campus population, and it really shouldn't be approached as a taboo. And when we're finally able to talk about menstrual hygiene, then we can start to address the different issues regarding it, such as accessibility and education and sustainability. And we really want to empower all menstruators to have access to menstrual hygiene and to treat it as really a right and not a privilege, and as a basic need, and as a very important part of student wellness. And so we continue to bring up menstrual hygiene in our social media posts, the giveaways, and campus events, and just making it more visible in our daily lives.
Awesome. So let's talk about inclusivity, specifically in the language we use. Not everyone who menstruates identifies as feminine, so it's really important that we shift our language to be gender neutral. So for example, instead of saying girls and women have the right to accessible menstrual products, simply change it to people have the right to menstrual products. Our goal is to increase the accessibility of basic needs to all, so we want to continuously ask questions and check ourselves to ensure that our words and our actions are informed and inclusive and beneficial to all. So what are some things we do to foster inclusivity? Two examples, the sticker initiative. We are correcting the stickers on campus restroom waste bins from feminine product disposal to say menstrual product disposal. Another example, having products in public spaces. Menstrual products are often placed in women's restrooms, but some people who menstruate may not identify as women and may feel uncomfortable entering those areas. We place our menstrual products in shared spaces, such as front desks of libraries and dorms, to remove that barrier and increase equality and accessibility. And I'm sharing these ideas more so you all can be more observant and cognizant of the systems that are around us and how we can advocate for and create real positive changes around us. So these are our values. We hope you take some of them on as yours.